Welcome to Journey to Joy Live, a podcast to promote wellness, resilience, and inspire joy. Be empowered to balance your mental, physical, financial, aspirational, and social health while providing mental health awareness and breaking down the stigma of mental illness in the Black community. I'm your host, Dr. It Joy, and I'm here to help you transform life's challenges into opportunities for joy. Let's begin the journey together. Hello, we are in episode 145, Becoming Empowered, Living Joy on Your Own Terms. And I have special guest, Yaa Astar. She is a life coach. I pronounced your name right. I meant to ask you.
Yes, you did pronounce it right, yes.
It's so cool because I feel like I'm calling you a star when I say your
You
name. You
are,
are
and you are.
Yaa Astar. So she is here. She is a professional life coach. And we're really here to talk about your program, Becoming Empowered. I love it so much because it really aligns a lot with my journal, the Enjoyno, Nurturing Authentic Living. It's a therapeutic journal that helps people balance multiple areas of their life: mental, physical, financial, aspirational, and social health. And it's using the Inspire Joy method. And the E in Inspire is empowerment. So for you to come on and talk about becoming empowered is very much in line with the Enjoyno. So we're going to jump right in. But before we do that, tell us more about you, who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Yaa Astar, and I am definitely a woman that has had quite the journey to even get to this point in my life, which is essentially what my program is about, which is becoming empowered. I'm a breast cancer survivor. I'm 21 years out of all the treatments, all the things. I am, a person who was in a career in accounting and finance and thought that was it for me, but I
Mhm.
realized, it has pivoted to what I do now, which I absolutely enjoy, which is coaching. I am a runner. I am a
Hey.
former bodybuilder. I'm saying former. There might be a chance I might come out of retirement.
Oh,
Yes. I am a fur mom. I am a woman that's about to go into her 50s. I'll be turning 50 this year on August 9th.
you're
Um Yes, but the journey has been a journey to get to this point, and I am a woman who used to work in corporate America, burned myself out, overwhelmed and stressed out, and didn't really feel much appreciation, for the work that I was putting into the company, and I really didn't really see a return on investment. But for me, just a little bit more about me. I grew up in New Jersey, New York, lived in DC. Now I'm here in
Mhm.
Atlanta, Georgia, did a pivot
Yeah.
here. And I'm glad that I did because I wasn't sure if it was the right choice, but I believe it was.
Yeah.
And, like I said, single, no kids, just got a fur baby. And I
Aw,
am just really enjoying life now. Yeah. I mean, because I want
that
to make sure
sounds
I say
great.
some juicy for when we really get into talking, but
Yeah.
I've gone through so many iterations of myself, and I love that because I believe you don't just get to live one life, you get to live multiple lives just, in one time,
Exactly.
and I think
Multiple
that's really
lives.
important. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Multiple lives, multiple chapters, and you really are living your joy on your own terms. This is just you in
Yeah.
preference.
Yeah. And the thing about it is that I had to go through health challenges, like I said, with the cancer thing, with the cancer. I had body dysmorphia, really didn't like the way that I looked in the mirror. So I was
Mhm.
struggling with that. Financial ruin. When I say financial ruin, I mean ruin. Like when I moved to Atlanta back in 2008, I owed everybody. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. I probably owed your mother too. So that was a lot of,
Yeah.
you know, being patient and trusting that I can get myself out of it. And it took some years to get out of it, but,
Mhm.
it helped me to persevere. And then also in my career, I really thought that I just was just going to get a bachelor's and that be life or be a lawyer. But,
Yeah.
at one point I did think I was going to be an accountant. So I did go back to school, got my master's, and as I was sitting for the license for CPA, I remember a friend asking me because I hadn't
Mm-mm-mm.
passed any of the parts, and I remember a friend asking me. She said, "Yop, you don't see yourself doing this in 10 years. I'm going to suggest for you not to take it." And so I took like about a month off before I decided, you know what, this isn't for me because I really had a, a really strong pulling within me of being able to help other people. I know in my life, since I was a kid, yay high, I have struggled with not struggled with confidence. And so, and I really didn't have much, you know, people around me to help me feel more confident about myself.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
get that own confidence within me. And so as I was going through the journey, like I'm talking about from like my 20s and still going through, I had to find ways to empower myself. And I sometimes find that there's a stigma, you know, with African American women. And so for me personally, I wanted to, you know, not quote unquote be one of those stigmas. And so I really made sure I worked hard in my career. I worked hard in my finances. I worked really hard in my health, but most importantly, I worked hard in my mental health. And that was the thing
Yeah.
me to this point in my life now where, you know, anything and everything is possible. And I share that with my clients too. We just need to have a plan. We just need to have a system. We just need to have a belief. But
Right.
also importantly, you need to have somebody right alongside you. And it's hard. And I can speak from my own experience that it is hard when you're doing it on your own. And
Yeah.
it's really, you know, you wanna perceive as a strong person, but, you know, internally, I was struggling, you know, because I felt like I couldn't share with anyone what I was going through to become,
Mhm.
quote, unquote, "successful." And I had all these things what I thought would believe would make me successful, and that was the
Yeah.
material, the tangible things, like the car, the house, the husband, the whatever it was. But I realized it didn't make me happy, it just stressed me out.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So many changes in chapters. So you had been married at one point.
No, girl, no, I've been engaged
Oh.
a couple of times, let's
Oh,
talk about
gotcha.
that,
Okay.
yeah. You know what, but I didn't behave well enough for somebody to say, "You know what, I'm willing to meet you at the altar," so
Yeah, gotcha. Well, it's really cool to hear how you introduce yourself because you really covered all those 5 crucial health areas, which I talk about. So you mentioned the mental health and the struggles that you had and the battles mentally that you had. You mentioned running, you mentioned breast cancer, that's that physical health component. Of course, that financial component saying you almost owed everybody in the world. And then that aspirational health component, the purpose, feeling the need to be valued and knowing exactly what you're going after and what your calling is basically, and then that connectedness and having like people surrounding you in that system, that's that social health. So all of that is really important and we can't neglect any aspect of health. We really have to be able to balance that, so that's important.
Mhm.
So like, why do us high achieving women keep restarting our goals? Because you mentioned that when you talk about becoming empowered, stop restarting and just have structure. So what is this with restarting goals as opposed to actually sustaining them?
Yeah, so we get the momentum going, and I
Yeah.
speak, you know, from my own experience. We get the momentum going. We going, we got it, we got it, we got it, and then all of a sudden, we may not see results, especially in our health. So we may get going for about a week or two or a month at max, but we still don't see the scale dropping. The clothes are still not fitting the way that we want. We're just not seeing the results that we want.
Yeah.
Then we just stop or life gets busy. That's the biggest thing is that we do not put ourselves on the
Life
calendar.
gets
We put
busy.
everybody else on the calendar,
Yeah.
but we do not put ourselves on the calendar. So guess what? You may have
Yeah.
started strong in January, but you fell off by the time January 21st hit. And so
Yep.
guess what? Because you gotta take the kids here and there, you gotta do this for work, you gotta make sure this is done, and don't forget you still gotta do this. All these things come into place, and then all of a sudden, when the priority of your health now falls behind all these other things that now you see as a priority. And
Mhm.
so there you have it. You know, so now you're like, okay, so once feel like you have some breathing room, or when there's an urgency, like, okay, summer, let's be real. Oh, summer about to hit. Guess what? You're back in the gym again and you're trying hard and hard and hard again. But you want that quick
Falling
result.
off. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
you want that quick result. But
Mhm.
guess what? It's gonna take time. Don't think that because you start today that you're gonna see the result tomorrow, even in a week. I know for me, I started back in November of 2025.
Uh-huh.
I'm just right, and it's what is it, April? I
For
didn't
what, the
start seeing
running?
results till March.
Well, also
And
it's
so
diet too.
that's another thing too, is like, there are things that are getting in the way of you being able to stick with it. And then
Mhm.
also too, you don't have the right people surrounding you. So
The
who's
support.
surrounding you? Right. So you may have your girls, "Oh, let's go to brunch. Oh, that won't hurt you. Oh, no, this girl
Oh
right
my
here, I
god.
carry my meal." Yes, I
You need
carry my
somebody to
meals
hold you
for
accountable, that's for sure. "Oh,
exactly.
you thin, girl. Oh, you don't need" I'm
Right.
like,
Oh, right, and the infamous saying is, "Oh, girl, you good. Oh, it won't hurt you." But it will. But it
"You
will.
set me
It's just
back."
right, and then another thing too is that so then you gotta restart again because you went out on the weekend and
That's
you start
harder.
on Monday. Wednesday you trying to push through. By Friday, you said, "I'll forget about it." You know what I'm saying? So it's like you always restarting. But what would happen if you just stuck with it? What would happen if you just said, "You know
Mm.
what? At least for 30 days, I'm not gonna give in. I'm gonna go ahead and bet all on me." And that's another thing too. We want other people to validate us. We're doing it for other people or other things or other
Not
reasons.
ourselves.
And that's another reason why you stop and restart. Is because you start because summer is coming. You stop because the season's over.
Yeah, I gotta
So
keep it going around. You work on that summer body during August for the next summer.
all year round, all year round.
Well, you
Right.
know,
And that's
my motivation are trips. We have a big trip coming up, and so my husband and I jumped on the bandwagon of eating real healthy, vegan, exercise, and that really helps, and it's actually helped us stick through, like, when we had Valentine's actually, we did fall off on Valentine's, but we had some other date nights where we didn't fall off. We're
right.
like, "We about to eat clean on this date," and what you just said, scheduling it in is so important because you're not gonna do it. So, Wednesdays and Thursdays, I have to drive my 14-year-old to school early. He usually gets on the bus, but I have to drive him to school because he has to go early for tutoring. But that's usually my mornings that I work out. But guess what I do? I do half of my workout, I get off the treadmill, I
Mhm.
go take him to school, then I come back and jump on the treadmill, then I hurry up and get ready for my workday. But
Right.
it's so easy to say, "But I gotta drop him off, so I'm not gonna work out." Or I do a 10 p.m. workout or I make sure I put on my Monday mornings, this is a long run because I started missing my long runs on Mondays because I started
Mm,
scheduling patients. And I was like, what happened to my Monday
mm,
mornings? I never blocked it. So now I block it
right.
again.
Oh, you have to because it's important. If you put it on a calendar, you won't forget. But even still, then you've got to have a reason. You have to have a sustainable reason.
Yeah.
So, going on vacation, that's good. That gives you, okay, something to look forward to and stick to it. But when you come back from
What
vacation,
happened when
what's
I
it going
come
to
back?
be like?
I know.
Right. What's it
Or what
going to be
happened
like?
when we get on the vacation? Are we gonna
Right, when
splurge?
you get on a vacation, all of a sudden you black out, lose your mind, and you go crazy. You know what I'm saying?
That
So
feels
it's like
good.
right, but how are you honoring yourself? That is really, really important. How am I gonna honor myself today in my health, in my career, and in my finances? The same thing with finances. You said you're saving for this or you're saving for that, then all of a sudden your girlfriend's call, "Hey girl, we got tickets to go see this, that, and the third." Oh, but you're afraid to tell them no because you don't wanna seem like, you know, you're you don't wanna go.
Yeah.
But it's important to have a real reason, a solid reason, something that's going to change your life.
So you don't
So
keep
if
doing
you
those
and that's the
things.
only reason why some people may stick to something, because if it's your health, if the doctor told you something, then more than most likely you're gonna stick to it.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're gonna lose something or
Mhm.
gain something, then you'll stick to it. But if it really doesn't matter, if it comes and goes, it doesn't matter. And the same
Yeah.
thing with your career. You said you was going to start applying for jobs, or you're going to start speaking up for yourself at work, or you're going to start, advocating for yourself more at work. But what happens? You feel defeated. Somebody tell you something.
Mhm.
You have to advocate for yourself.
For
You have to
sure.
honor
That
yourself.
empowerment.
Exactly. How are you
Right.
empowering yourself today?
Mhm.
You know, you may not, I mean, you may, start somewhere, but also to not only start somewhere, have a plan. That's
Mhm.
really important. I work with my clients and I tell them get a journal, get a calendar so that way you actually see it. You have to see it every single day. See your goal. I
You have
have
to break it
different vision
down.
boards. Yeah, I have different vision boards, one for my health and one for, my business, career,
Oh,
what have you. And I
yeah.
make sure I put it in a place where I can look at it every day. So every day when I wake up in the morning, I got my business and career goals.
Oh,
Vision
that's
board. Boom. That's the
good, that's
first thing I
good.
see. When I walk out of
Mhm.
my bedroom, boom, I have a vision board. That's the first thing I see. Whatever you keep in front of you, you will attract. But if you don't keep it in front of you, you'll dismiss.
Mhm.
So, it's really so you've got to empower yourself. Stop waiting. That's another thing too, is that sometimes we're waiting for someone. Who are
Mhm.
you waiting for? Just like I went through a season in my life last year where, I'm in the menopausal stage of life and that's a whole different that's a different
Whole different
animal and beast.
conversation.
Yeah,
Perimenopause.
right. And I looked around and I looked around and I remember, telling even my coach, and she said, "What changed?" I said, "I looked around and I realized I didn't have two T's. I didn't have a trustee and I wasn't a trophy wife and nobody was going to save me. So guess
Mhm.
what? Now it's up to
It's
me.
you.
Right. It's up to me to become healthy. It's up to me to make moves in my career. And it's up to me to become financially independent.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And
important.
that's what
That's
it's
what that
about becoming.
self-awareness is all about, sitting with yourself and realizing where am I at and what needs to change, where do I wanna be?
Right. But it all starts here mentally.
Yep.
That's why I say it starts with you. You have to be careful what you put in your ear. You have to be careful what you watch. Are you doing things and incorporating things and consuming things that are going to empower you in your health, your career, and
Mhm.
your finances?
Mhm.
Are you doing or are you doing things to, somewhat damage you mentally?
Mhm.
What are you watching? What are your eyes are the
What are you
gate.
putting? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
so
what
important.
are you doing? And so that's why you have to change the way you think about your health, about your career, about your finances, about all of that. You can't
Yeah.
go with the massive herd. You have to be willing to branch off and walk a different direction. Just because everybody is going in this direction doesn't mean it's the right direction for you. So if you
Right.
want to see change in your life, then what are you going to do to change?
Well, let's talk about the starting piece because you mentioned, stop waiting, right? Because a lot of us, we are waiting because we're fearful or we're waiting because maybe we're not motivated. I mean, is motivation overrated? I mean, what's the difference between feeling
It,
inspired and actually being disciplined?
well, discipline, you do it anyway.
Mhm.
You do it
Whether
anyway.
you're
Like
inspired or not.
right. I wake up every morning at 4:30 AM and I tell myself, "Yeah, you don't have a choice. You don't have an
Yeah,
option."
that's dope. Is that when you run?
That's what I get up in the morning at 4:30, and I'm at the gym by 5 or either I'm running. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, my husband
So
does that
I
at
don't
the
have an
time.
option.
Mm-mm.
So
That's dope.
once you realize you don't have an option, I can't do what everybody else does
So does
because
it
I don't
start
want
with
what everybody else has.
motivation? Does it start with motivation or it starts with discipline?
It
Do you
starts
have
with
to be
motivation,
motivated?
but that fades. You don't have to be motivated. So it does start with some type of motivation, but understand that also fades too. So when that fades, what do you have left? And so you have to
Discipline.
make the decision. It's either I'm going to get up and move or either I'm going to stay here. But be careful staying in the same place where you're at today. Be very careful because if you stay here, you'll stay stuck here. And then the things that you want for your life for this year will pass you by. And you'll be saying, and we'll be talking about this again next year. Well, I should have. Or we'll be talking
Mhm,
about this at the end of the year.
mhm.
Only if you
Yeah,
have the opportunity
just
now
did
to
it.
change.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like it starts with motivation, but when we get the motivation, we need a strategy, we need structure, and then that's what locks in our discipline because once you run out of the motivation, you don't have a plan, it's hard to stick to something if there's no plan or strategy.
exactly. You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. You have to have a system. But ultimately, you have to have that goal. But then also too, you may have the physical goal, but what's the intangible?
Mhm.
So, so say for example, I want a particular watch. Okay, I want a watch. That's the tangible aspect of it. But what does
Mhm.
it represent? Oh, this represents me being on this earth
Time
half a
management.
century.
Yeah.
Me, it's half a century. Oh, that means a lot to me.
Mhm.
So, there's also that connection too to whatever it is that goal is. I have a client where she said, I asked her, I said, why is it so important for you to get out of debt? She said, I would love to be able to buy a second home, a vacation home. Now, what does that mean to you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What does that mean to you? How does that feel? How would that make you feel? So
Freedom,
then you
escape.
start thinking twice about decisions.
Mhm.
You start thinking twice. Like for me, okay, I got a financial goal. And for me, everything is tied emotionally.
Mhm.
It, because I got to have this, it's not because of just having it, but what does it mean? What does it represent?
Represents
Oh,
joy, your journey to joy.
absolutely.
I think the end goal is joy in all this.
Yeah, having a joyful life. And what does that joy
Exactly.
look like? How does that joy feel?
Yeah, and just keeping it. So, I mean, how do we know if we're struggling with strategy versus just secretly struggling with self-trust? Because sometimes we battle with self-trust.
So you can tell if you're struggling with strategy if you're constantly trying to figure out what to do. If you're constantly on, Chat GPT or AI, like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Or what do I do? It's like your best friend. So
Yeah.
it's because
Yeah.
you're spending so you find yourself spending it just like how I was back in November through December and early January, spinning my wheels trying to figure it out. Okay, well, what if I look at this? And what if I look at this? And what if I did? Well, and I'm constantly changing. But as soon as I hired my coach, well, they already know.
Mhm.
They already know. Oh, because that's what they do. That's their profession. That's what they do. And within a matter of a month, they dropped off
Mm.
because there was a plan and a structure in place for me.
Mhm.
So I didn't have to try to figure it out on my own. Somebody else was able to do it for me. So
Somebody
that's
was
how you
coach.
can tell you're spinning you're spinning because because if you find yourself changing quote unquote your plan like every week, that's not a plan. That's just you like trying to figure it out.
It's not
Why try
sustainable.
it's not.
Yeah.
So why
Yes,
try to
it is
figure it out
sustainable.
on your own when you can have somebody to walk alongside you and say, "Hey, that has already been where you've been." Been where you're wanting to go.
Exactly. A coach is important. So, like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we're mentioning different areas like focusing on health goals, career goals, financial goals. Is it important to work on one goal at once? Is working on it all at once a recipe for failure?
So it really depends on you. It really depends on
Yeah.
the person. Some people may, maybe scatterbrain or a squirrel here and there. So it really
It is
you know what I'm
true.
saying? So it really depends. So for me, I personally will choose one thing out of each of those categories. So in my health, I may say just choose one thing that you would like to accomplish. In my career, I may say choose one thing.
Mm,
In my finances, I may choose one thing. Just choose one thing. If you're going to work all three, just choose one thing and focus on that one thing. But now, if there's something like, say, for example, in your health where you feel like, oh, I've got to work on getting off of medication, I've got to work on losing weight, I've got to
many
work on
things.
my mental,
Yeah.
and I've got to work on physical, I've got to work on eating right, then maybe it's just best to just focus on your health for right now. Once you've
Mhm.
got that down
Mhm.
pat, and once you start seeing results, and once you have a consistency there, then maybe you can add something else on. And that's something I do with my clients is like,
That's
first I need
awesome.
to see
Yeah.
what your overall goal is. What is your overall goal? Then we look at, okay, we're just going to focus on this one for maybe just the first 3 months. Then after 3 months, we'll look at maybe adding something else on. So you want to be careful with, okay, how many things you working on at one time? Jack of all trades, master of nothing. So just focus however many you feel like you can focus on, but it's really important to focus on the one that really matters to you the most. So what matters
Mhm.
to you the most? So
That's
is it
good.
financial freedom? Is it getting ahead in your job? Or is it, being healthy, being at your optimal health?
Yeah. I like that. It feels less overwhelming. So you either pick one thing in each category or maybe 5 things in one category so that you're not feeling overwhelmed with all the things you have to do. Because I mean, I feel like I have multiple goals, as far as from financial to career
Mhm.
to health and all that, but, and it could be just kinda like a rolling start. Because I know when I restart a diet, like, I can't just go straight to eating clean. I have to, like, okay, I'll cut out the bread, then I'll cut out the sugars, then I'll
Mhm,
cut out
mhm.
portions or whatever it might be. But, I mean,
Yeah.
I got a recent pre-diabetes diagnosis, a couple months ago, so that's really what kickstart me literally starting cold turkey, if you call it that, with,
Yeah.
going straight to, like, eating clean. So I didn't have a rolling I just like, I gotta get
Right,
this
oh, yeah.
'cause I'm already working out, so I'm like, "What's up with that?" But it's actually fun because now it creates, like, more hobbies of, like, cooking black bean brownies or red lentil tortillas, like, it sounds nasty, but
Yeah.
it's great.
But it offers you an opportunity to be creative, and that's the beauty of
Correct.
it, you know? So, I mean, sometimes these things happen where you get a diagnosis or you experience something and it forces you to change. But that's the
Mhm,
thing
mhm.
too, is that are you going to change or are you still gonna keep this or keep your same ways?
Yeah, you gonna go back and I know for me, so I am an avid lover of shrimp. Shrimp every day is usually how I am, so it is crazy that I have not had shrimp in 2 months. That is
Oh,
absolutely
wow.
crazy that I've been to restaurants that have shrimp tacos or shrimp and grits, and I always get it, but I've been to restaurants in the last 2 months and did not get the shrimp that was on the menu. That's wild because this
Wow.
change in my mind was just like, "Actually, shrimp is the bottom feeder. Actually, it is the roach of the sea. Maybe you should just eat healthy. Maybe just stick to salmon or something like that." So I can't say that I'll never eat shrimp in the ever again,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think that's wild that Nina Joy Mena is not having shrimp.
Shrimp. Well, and that's the same with that was the same with me, like, for the longest time, I just stopped eating eggs, and I was like, "I don't
Mm,
understand why I just don't want eggs." For the
mm.
longest time, so it was, like, probably at least I would say probably close to a year I didn't have eggs, and then now, like, I'm on a specific meal plan, I was kinda nervous about, like, eating eggs. I'm like, "I really don't desire them," but,
Yeah.
now I eat them, but I can take it or leave it, it doesn't matter to me, but I guess it's the way that the body is responding now to, your new lifestyle.
It's wild because it feels so good,
Yeah.
and, like, yeah, I'm holding off on dairy, and with the vegan, lifestyle, I wasn't doing eggs for a while, but I learned about this avocado bread, and that involves eggs, and I was doing it with vegan eggs, and I was like, "You know what? Let me try this with real eggs," and I finally perfected it. You really do need real eggs,
Right.
it's really difficult to do with vegan eggs, so that's the only type of egg
Oh.
I've had, and it's good. Avocado bread, because like, people love bread. Like, just make avocado.
Yes. Oh, I don't keep that stuff in that like, certain stuff I won't keep in my house. Like, I won't keep bread in my house. I won't
Mhm,
like, right now, I don't have popcorn in my house. Certain
mhm.
foods, like, I will not keep in my house. M&Ms, I won't keep in the
Oh,
house
that's so
because it's
smart.
hard for me to break. I mean, can
That's
I
so
tell when I say it's
smart.
hard for me to break, I mean, it's hard for me to break. So, generally, like, if you know it's something hard for you to break, don't even bring it in the house. Don't even bring it in the house, not even one bag. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, that's so good because your dog's not gonna eat that stuff anyway. And luckily, I don't care for my kids' snacks because they
Right.
got snacks too. I'm trying to transition them over to some healthy snacks too. Why not have them be healthy too?
And share with them the benefit of, "Okay, well, this is the reason why." And I think
Mhm.
that if we can expose our kids to the benefits of why we are doing something for our health, our career, our finances, and especially our mental, I think they will have more of an appreciation, and they may even actually adopt those same things that you're doing, and they'll think about certain
Yeah.
things twice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they'll do it eventually. It takes time, it takes, self-grace and all the things because a lot of people,
Yeah.
especially say you're over 300 pounds and you've lost 15 pounds and you can't tell a difference, there's still progress, right? You're still losing. It's a
Right.
matter of just keeping on until you lose that 100 or more.
Right, but it's also too, like, with my clients, you have to have milestones, and you have to celebrate.
Mhm.
And that
Mhm.
is very important. So, like, say,
Mhm.
for example, your milestone may be, "Oh, I wanna pay this credit card off, that's $5,000." Have a
Oh, yeah.
milestone for when you hit 3,000. What are you gonna do?
That's
But it can't be
important.
spending money. It has to be something different. So, like, let it be an
Yeah.
experience. Or if you hit
Yeah.
a 1,500, what are you going to experience? And then you hit like then you hit 0. I can remember, I'll never forget, I was paying my car off and I said, "Ooh, I'm gonna buy myself a pair of these running shoes." You know, I can
Mhm.
easily buy the running shoes, but
Anyway, yeah.
right. But for some reason, I still got those running shoes. Like, and the car gone, long gone. But I tied it. But those running
Mhm.
shoes mean so much to me because I
Mhm.
worked so
Wait.
hard. I worked overtime. I didn't buy this. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I didn't eat out. It reminds me of the work that I put in
That's
to
good.
accomplish this goal. And I still have those running shoes. I still have
That's
them. I mean, like
awesome.
for over a couple of years because it means
Well,
so
you're
much
not
to
still
me.
running with them, are you? Because you know how that is. You gotta
Oh, girl,
keep
no, no.
what's about 2
Girl,
years?
no, my feet.
Exactly, but, frame them at this point. Yeah,
Right, yeah,
that's
absolutely.
why strategy is so important. Thinking about, like, the credit card debt, you were saying, like, celebrate the small wins, like, from a $5,000 down to 3,000 because, like, for instance, David Ramsey on the Financial Peace, he suggests, cutting out the smaller balances first because it increases motivation. Because if you got $700 balance, that's easy to pay off than, I guess, a
Yeah.
$20,000 credit card balance that
Oh,
has a high
yes.
interest. 'Cause it has a high interest though. Cause some people feel like you should pay off the high interest first, but if the high
Right.
interest cards has higher balance, then it's like you just feel like, "I don't know what to do." But,
Right, and you get discouraged real quickly. So, I mean, I'm in agreement with that too. Is like whatever feel comfortable for you first. Like, so if you've got like if it's $700 balance, go ahead and knock it out, regardless. And then you can that gives you the motivation, like, wow, I did that. Then move on to the next one. Maybe the next one's like 2,000. Boom. You
yeah,
got the motivation because you're what you're doing is you're building yourself up and your confidence up to, okay, I'm gonna
that's what he
eventually pay off
says.
that
That's what he
20,000.
says. But, if that $700 balance has like a 10% APR and the $20,000 one has 40%, I think that's where the small wins comes in at, because it's like, "Well, I'm gonna celebrate
Right.
when I get it down to 19,000, when I get out to 18,000." Something's gotta motivate you because sometimes that other balance is makes more sense to work or maybe that other high balance is tax debt and
Okay,
you gotta
yeah, Yeah, absolutely. So it whatever makes sense to you,
strategy.
but absolutely have a strategy and celebrate those small wins, but also make sure that you have a plan in place of, okay, this is what I'm going to do for this when I hit this milestone. And I think that was something I remember I had a financial coach and she said, "Well, what are you going to do to celebrate?" I was like, I don't know. And so it's important to celebrate yourself and your achievements along the way, even if you haven't necessarily gotten there yet, but it's showing you, hey,
Yeah,
I can do this and I'm going to continue to do this. And it builds up your self confidence. And it's nothing
yeah,
like holding your head up high and walking with pride because you are now working towards something that you thought you could never do, and it's an accomplishment. So definitely make sure you have those milestones in place. Regardless, each milestone means something. Don't
mhm.
just, pay it off or do this and don't celebrate yourself. And that's
Right,
something
or
that
don't
was very
celebrate by
important.
spending all the money you saved.
Right, exactly. Find another way.
Or
Find another way.
going and eating sushi and Cheesecake Factory and you celebrating your 10-pound weight loss, you just wanna get
Right. You're like, I'm just gonna go ahead and celebrate by going out. No, figure out something. Like I would tell my clients, like, especially when we were working around food, I'm like, celebrate with an experience.
Yes.
Purchase buy an experience because
Yeah,
it's something there's
concert,
something
something.
yeah, there's something to that. And so that's why I say it has to have a meaning. Like,
Mhm,
what is it? So when you're working towards something, it has to mean something, but it has to mean something to your core. What does it mean? Like,
mhm,
I am on this health journey for me, but what does it mean? I'll be honest with you. I want to come into 50 looking and feeling good, but also I want to be able to not have any health problems. And so, yeah, let me go ahead and do this. I want to feel good about myself.
mhm.
Now that's something every day. That will go beyond the trip, go beyond the trip, your birthday, all of that. How do I feel about myself? I wanna feel good. Okay, good. Let's keep going.
Yeah, and it seems like it usually takes something like you mentioned you battled with, breast cancer and financial issues. Does it have to take hitting rock bottom for us to be empowered? Like, what has to internally switch for us to move from trying to truly being, empowered?
You feel like you're losing something. You feel like you're losing
Yeah.
something or going to lose something.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So it
yeah,
really is kinda like a rock bottom thing.
yeah. I mean, that's how and sometimes that's how it has to hit because, for you, like you mentioned, you're pre-diabetic, and so maybe that has to be the hit.
That's what hit me. I still be eating shrimp every day in Cheesecake Factory. I love that
Right.
cheesecake. One with the peanut
Yeah.
butter and they got the peanut butter whipped cream. It's not regular whipped cream, it's peanut butter paste or whatever it is. So good. I'm eating vegan ice cream now.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, that's what it so it has to be, "Okay, what am I going to lose?"
Mhm.
And so that's why some people may not change because nothing has happened yet
Nothing to lose.
for them to experience that hit.
Yeah.
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 Nothing
What
has like, for example, or say you're on probation at work or you're on an action plan.
that
"Oh, shoot, let me get my stuff together."
that will correct
'Cause
you, correct, yes.
right, unless you got something else lined up, oh, you're not gonna make any change or switch until something hits. So it's gotta hit something.
Yep.
So what is that hit? Because that also hits your
So
finances
ask
too.
yourself, what is that? Yeah, and if you haven't had a rock bottom and you don't want it to, just somehow find that motivation. And I feel like just the same way with therapists, we have programs called behavioral activation. I mean, it kind of like starts you with certain tasks and goals and strategies, and you just do it without the motivation. And then the motivation just comes because you're sticking to this plan. So a
Yeah.
lot of times you can just activate your behaviors through behavioral activation. And
Mm.
despite not being motivated. But tell us about the program. If we went to your website and we wanted to do this becoming empowered, this BE, tell us what we would get. Well, not everything because
Yes,
they gotta come through
absolutely.
first.
So yes, absolutely. So with B, which stands for Becoming Empowered, what it is with the program is it's a 12-month program. So we need some time. You're not gonna get to where you are in where you want to be in 3 months. 6 months, you may start seeing, something. 9 months, you may start to experience something, but we want a transformation. And a lot of people, they do programs that may be 3 or 6 months, and they just starting to experience the cusp of it, but they haven't reached it just yet. And so that's what the B program is it's all about your health. It's going to be 12 months. We meet biweekly, and every single week we're going to have a setup. We're going to have, I call it the 72-hour thing, the 72-hour action plan. You're going to get that every single week. I'm always going to reach
Right.
out to you. Okay, what are you doing? I'm going to reach out to you for every 72 hours. So 24 hours, I'm going to reach out to you. 48 hours, I'm going to reach out to you. 72 hours, I'm going to reach out to you. Have you done these things that we set up
Wow.
for? And so that's for a 12 months biweekly program. We're going to look at your health. What is it that you desire in your health? We're going to look at your career. Where do you want to be in your career now? Or maybe you want to pivot to a different career. Maybe you want to do something else. Or maybe, you're like, you know what? I'm inspired to do something on my own. We'll look at that. Okay, we're going to look at the action steps. And then we're going to look at your finances. Okay, let's be real.
Ah, so you
That's what
do
it's
look
going to
at
be.
all of them. Okay, not just the
Yeah,
health.
so yeah, we'll look at so some people may choose one. Like I said, people may choose two or some may choose three. It depends. We can focus on one or we can focus on all three. But if you want to focus on all three, we could do that. But we're only going to choose one thing at a time. So say, for example, you want to choose in my health, I just want to get help. I just want to be able to become more active. Okay, we're just going to start with you just walking or doing things that you like, not something I'm going to assign you and force you to do. And then, let's see. So we got the 12-month program, we meet biweekly, and every single week you're going to have an action plan that I'm going to send you. And I'm going to follow up with you. Every single week, I'm going to follow up with you because that's what it's all about. It's holding you accountable, making sure that you're consistent. But also, not only that, we're going to look at why this is so important to you. We're going to look at the psychology behind it. We're going to look at
Oh,
like
that's
why is this so
cool.
important to you? We're going to look at the reasoning behind why you are where you are. How did you get here in your health, in your career, and in your finances? And that's really important. We got to look
Mm,
at okay, the root of it, and that's really important. So with becoming empowered, you get in a whole year with me. A
That's
whole
so
year of somebody walking with you every single step of the way, every single milestone to all the way to your goal. And that's really important. We're going to meet
mhm.
biweekly because again, you may not be able to do everything all in one week, but that's the reason why we're going to meet biweekly to give
You
you
know,
2 weeks
check-ins.
to yeah, give you 2 weeks to get everything done that you need to get done. And then, just having that action plan. Okay, here I'm gonna eat like usually after I coach the client, I'll send them an action plan within 24 hours. Here's your action plan. And then I'm gonna check in on you because you may have felt real great during the coaching, but I
Mhm,
noticed that sometimes it drops off. That
mhm.
momentum drops off. So that's why I'm gonna work with you 24 hours. I'm doing a check-in. Hey, have you done this? 48 hours. Hey, have you done this?
That's dope.
72 hours. Hey, have you done this? Because that's what you need is getting that momentum going. So we're gonna just basically look at the whole landscape and we're gonna look at a plan. It's all about having a plan. Then we're gonna look at a system and the structure. And then again, like I said, we
Um,
have milestones along the way.
okay.
So I have a founders, I call it the founders program where essentially for the first 8 people, I've
Mm.
got a couple now where the first 8 people, it's only $97 a month. So
Okay,
just
I was gonna
imagine
ask you about the pricing because clearly not insurance with coaching programs.
right now. So no, so it's a 90 so all it is for the first 8 people, it's $97 a month, and again, what you're getting is an hour coaching, you're getting systems and plans specifically and customized for you and your goals. We're meeting biweekly, and you're gonna get a 24, 48, and
That's
72-hour check-in every
a
single week,
steal.
and you have somebody holding you accountable for whatever that goal is because you've asked your friends, you asked your family, and they held you accountable for probably maybe up to a month, but then you still got the eleven months to figure out what
They're
you're
not
gonna
getting
do.
paid to hold you accountable, that's why. So the first 8
Mm.
people so is the program new, or you mean the first 8 for each cohort, or
So essentially the first 8 people that sign up, they pay only $97.
oh, like, period? When
Period.
did the program
No,
start?
no, 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 every month. So it's $97
Each
monthly.
month, each month, each month. Got it. Okay.
Yeah,
That's why
each
I was
month.
like, "Wait a
So
minute."
yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
for the first 8 people, it's $97
You
monthly.
just
Then
wait till the
after that,
next
the price
month if you
goes
miss it. Ah,
up.
okay.
What's that?
So no, I was saying you just wait till the next month if you miss being a part of the person.
Right.
'Cause how much is it if not, since you're telling the prices? Huh?
I said, "Ooh, you don't wanna know how much it is.
Okay,
If it's not
okay. What it don't say. Oh, boy.
ooh."
Well, let's see. It's at the beginning. What how many people joined this month so far? Does somebody have a chance?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said how many people started already in April? Does somebody have a chance to get in this month?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We had 2 people already get in.
Okay, you heard her.
So
Go to her
that's what I'm saying. So
website.
right, so
97
right, so just think about it. Just think about how you spend $97 a month anyway.
on Starbucks. Well,
Right,
actually not
Starbucks,
anymore
eating
because of
out.
my new diets.
Right. So you're spending it on just think about it, and think
Yeah.
about what your return on investment on that you spent it on.
No, 97 is a steal. You don't even have to explain that. Well, I guess not to me. Maybe to some people, they're like, 97. I mean, some people spend 97 on a gym membership. Like, that's nothing.
But you're not
Yeah,
even
people
going.
e exactly. So, yeah, people need to do that. Heck, I might sign up. It sounds great.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my
I
goodness.
mean, you can go on the on the website, it shows, like, everything, like, it's really for the person that's really ready to change.
Ready
They're
to
sick and
change.
tired of being right where they are. They're sick
Mhm.
and tired of another year going by, and they still weigh the same, still in that still in that dead-end career, still ain't made changes in their finances,
Mhm.
still ain't got no savings,
Is
still
that
got that
you?
credit card debt, still got that mentality.
Budget the $97. Be the first 8.
Right, because you
That's
budget
all it
everything else, you budget because think about it, you'll spend about what, 300, 400, $500 on a concert, and the return on investment is just only that one night. Now just
or
think
maybe the
about
concert sucks. So it wasn't even
right,
alright.
right, and you got nothing to show for it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, it's really the price is, okay, this is an investment in you.
Quality of
It's
life,
not for me
joy.
because I already done it, and I do it over and over and over again. I already done it. I
Mhm,
already know what to do. But the
mhm.
investment is, okay, this is you putting it on you. The
You
$97
got it.
is, okay, Imma go ahead and bet on me.
Yeah, that's dope.
Imma go ahead and put it all on me.
Well, I feel like we can talk forever and ever because this is an awesome subject. But let me ask you one more question, Miss Yaa Astar. Tell us about you pretty much talked about it, but I always ask my guests specifically. Tell us about your personal journey to joy.
Well, just letting go of what I'm supposed to be.
Mm,
Letting go of what I'm supposed to be, basically what society says I'm supposed to be. My
right.
parents said I'm supposed to be, my man's supposed to say what I'm supposed to be,
Mm.
my siblings, my all these, letting go of what I'm supposed to be and just be. And since
Mhm.
I've done that, I have had so much joy in my life. I smile more. I'm easier on myself more. I offer myself a lot more grace.
That's dope.
And when you just live your life for you, it's
Mhm.
so much more easier. It brings so much more joy.
That's
And that's
dope.
what it's about is how can I have joy in my life today? Let go. I don't know what you holding on to, honey, but you gotta let it go
It's so on
because it
brand. So on
yeah.
brand because you said let it go and just be. Becoming
And
empowered.
power.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a great place to end.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Yastar, thank you so much for coming on. Your website's there, yastar.com, and you can be found on Instagram at ya underscore
Yes.
star as well. So appreciate you. You are a star.
Indeed, and
Thank
you are too.
you. This has been an Enjoy Life production. If you're in a crisis, don't hesitate. Call, text, or chat 988 for immediate support. Please note, this podcast is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional treatment. If you're looking for therapy or medication management through Enjoy Life, visit www.drenjoylife.com to request a consultation. I'm licensed in 13 states. I accept Aetna in Georgia, Florida, and Virginia. Be sure to grab your copy of the Enjoy Note to help you on your wellness journey. Also, check out Inspire Joy for the wife, mom, boss to help you balance it all without losing yourself. Better yet, get the full Joy bundle for just $45. Remember, Journey to Joy Live is every Thursday at 7 p.m. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, may you continue to transform stress into joy.